pouring libations at the beginning, saying a prayer for all of us who have lost our loved ones to police violence. Right now, if you could just say the name of your loved one or someone you've been marching and protesting for. Say their name. Ashe. At this time, I'd like to bring to the microphone the attorney representing the family right now. You've seen him across the nation fighting for Black lives, fighting for the rights and dignity of families. Please welcome Attorney Benjamin Crump.
Say his name. 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 Thank you. I would like to first thank Melina Abdullah and Black Lives Matter Los Angeles. Thank you for having this rally for the family of Anthony McClain. I'm attorney Ben Crump, and I'm proud to be with a great lawyer who hails here in Pasadena, attorney Caree Harper, a strong Black woman. We also have the pleasure of working with attorney Dale Galipo and attorney Zahak, who's present here with us. Matthew Zahak. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us the family of Anthony McClain and his children. You're going to hear from the parents of his children. You have Zoli, and you have Deandra, and you have Kimberly. They are the mothers of Bryce, the mothers of Skyland, and the mothers of Anthony McClain Jr. And they understand that when these babies grow up, they're going to ask the question, what happened to my daddy? And they're going to see that video of the police shooting yet again another Black man who's running away from them in the back. And they're going to want to know, what did we do when they shot my dad in the back? And I pray, Pasadena, I pray, Greater Los Angeles County, that we can all tell these babies that we stood up and we said his name, Anthony McClain, because Anthony McClain, life matters. And Anthony McClain tragically follows a line of Black men in America who, for whatever reason, it's inexplicable why the police keep shooting Black men in the back. I mean, you hardly ever hear them shooting a white man in the back. But in America, it seems like it's a cliche of them shooting a Black man in the back. I mean, literally, we can go down the road when we think about Walter Scott in South Carolina. We think about Laquan McDonald in Chicago. We think about Jacob Blake Jr. in Kenosha, Wisconsin. We think about Terrence Crutcher walking away with his hands up slowly in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Corey Jones in Palm Beach, Florida. I mean, Joshua Feast in Lamarck, Texas. And you know, it happened in 2020 when we were in the midst of a global pandemic where it seemed like everything else in America shut down except implicit bias and police brutality on Black people. Because we saw that these quasi-police in Brunswick, Georgia, in February of 2020, they lynched Ahmaud Arbery for jogging while Black. And then right after we were dealing with that, we then found out about our sister, Breonna Taylor, who they busted in her front door at 1 in the morning and executed her, leaving 6 bullets in her body while she was practically naked. And then, just as we were dealing with that tragedy, we were all introduced to the most horrific video that we had witnessed in our lifetime, and that was the torture of George Floyd with a knee on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. And then just when we all said, well, that's it, we know they're not going to do anything else, it only got worse, because then we heard about Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin, walking away from the police, not posing a threat, not posing violence. I mean, walking away with his back to them, and the officer grabs his t-shirt and shoots him 6 times, carry point blank range, having deliberate indifference as to whether he lived or died in front of his 3 little boys, 8 years old, 5 years old, and 3 years old. You can only imagine what those little black boys are going to grow up thinking about how the police treat black people. And then we saw Dijon Kinsey in Los Angeles get shot in the back. We heard of Trayford Pellerin in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, get shot in the back. We heard of Joshua Feast down near Houston, Texas, get shot in the back. We heard of Andre Hill in Columbus, Ohio, holding a cell phone when the police came out for a 311 call, and he got shot and killed. And we watched the police for 20 minutes walk around with flashlights, looking for a gun to try to blame the black man for an unjustified killing. And then in Pasadena, California, we witnessed, I mean, Carrie, it's still hard to believe, we witnessed these babies' daddy, Anthony McClain, literally running out of his shoes, trying to get away from the police. But yet they still shot him in the back 2 times. And Silk, it's almost as if, I don't understand it. Seems like to police in America, Kareem, the most dangerous person in America is a black man running away from them. I mean, you can't explain this. You all have to help us, because black America, we don't understand why we so dangerous running away from you. It makes no sense whatsoever. And so that's why we're here, because Caree Harper told me there is a pattern and practice, a history in Pasadena, California, where they just kill black people and sweep it under the rug as if their life didn't matter. Well, we came to stand with you all in Pasadena. We came to stand with these children to say, not this time. You will not sweep Anthony McClain under the rug. And you can run, but you cannot hide. We knew there was supposed to be a city council meeting today. That's why we came. We wanted to make sure you knew that Anthony McClain's life mattered. We wanted to make sure we said his name, Anthony McClain, so they could hear it in the city council meeting. But I guess, Melina, you a bad sister. They heard you was coming and they canceled the meeting. But that's okay, because Caree Harper and attorney Galipo, and we gonna keep coming back. We won't let you act like Anthony McClain didn't exist, like he didn't matter, because we know Black Lives Matter. And they may have heard that some other people were coming to stand with you all in Pasadena, because we know that you stood with them in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and helped to make sure all of us working together collectively to make sure that Derek Chauvin was found guilty, guilty, guilty for killing George Floyd Jr. And I'm very grateful that his brothers did not think it robbery to get on a plane, and they understand that it's the 1 year anniversary coming up on next Tuesday, and everybody's pulling at them from every which way. But when they saw the video of Anthony McClain, they said, Attorney Crump, what can we do to help? What can we do to help Anthony McClain family get justice too? And so, before I bring my co-counsels up and we bring the family up, I want to introduce you to a family that has been so dignified as they dealt with the grief and the horror of watching their brother. I mean, their big brother, the person who, you know, was always there to protect them. The person when they were born was always there for them. They slept in the bed with him. I mean, they, you know, they said they wet the bed on them. They did it all. But George was always there for his brothers. And so, because he was there for them, they understand what it means to stand up for others. And so, without further ado, I'm going to have his two brothers and his nephew, who was like a son to him, who came all the way from Houston, Texas, because Andrew McClain, life matters. And that it's not enough just to say justice for George Floyd. We also got to say justice for Anthony McClain. And just like the officers were terminated for killing George Floyd, we want the officers to be terminated for killing Anthony McClain. And just like the officers were arrested and charged for killing George Floyd unjustly, we want the officers to be arrested and charged for killing Anthony McClain unjustly. And just like the officers were convicted for killing George Floyd unjustly, we want the officers to be convicted for killing Anthony McClain unjustly. So I introduce to you the brothers of George Floyd, Philonise Floyd, Rodney Floyd, and their nephew, Brandon Williams.
You know, we heard about this video, and Mr. Crump told us about it. Hey guys, I have a case situation with a young man named Anthony McClain. We familiar with the story. The average story of any typical black man in our neighborhoods. Pulled over by the local police. And except Mr. McClain just posed no threat. He took off running, probably in fear of his life. Because in one thing in our community, we always getting harassed by cops, the bad apples. And you know, that young man ran for whatever reason. I figured he was running for his life. Because he's tired of all this, you know, a lot of injustice, a lot of police killings. He watched the news as well. And this young man was shot in the back 2 times, people. Twice. And the officer walked up to this young man, handcuffed him on the ground.
My Lord.
The same unfortunate, yes, sir. Handcuffed this young man while he was on the ground, people. Just imagine that. You shot a young man in the back 2 times, walked up to him, handcuffed him. The young man told the officer, I can't breathe, I need some help. You know, but the man was just dying, laying his own puddle of blood. The police was on the way. He rendered some aid. But you know, this story, this type of situations is so tiring. His family is standing behind us. We came out for moral support for the family. We know how they feel. We've been down this road. We still going on it. And you know, it's so sad and heartening. This man got these young kings, princes. They're gonna grow up to be kings, but they gotta watch this video one day. They're gonna ask questions. Mom, where's dad? Where's dad? And it's gonna be so hard for this woman to explain to her babies what happened to their father. I know it's gonna be hard. My heart goes out to them. But you know, we're here for another reason as well. We are here to say fire this cop who killed that young man, Anthony McClain. He needs to be fired today. He does not need a chance to retire. He needs to be fired. I mean, we are demanding that, and we're gonna stand with the family until that happens. And stand with them all the time. But please, people, call this police station, people. Put this on your Facebook, put this on your Instagrams. Fire that officer who killed Anthony McClain. He must be fired.
Fire the officer.
Fire the officer who killed Anthony McClain, people.
I'm Brandon Williams, nephew of George Floyd. When we got the call to come out here, we had a busy schedule, but it was a no-brainer. We've been right there with that family standing, and we know the feeling, and it's not a good one. They lost a family member, and they weren't supposed to. Anthony McClain should still be living. That right there was enough reason for us to get on the plane and come here and stand with this family and offer as much confidence support as we can.
Absolutely.
In Minneapolis, immediately at the verdict where it was was guilty on all three charges, we did a press conference similar to this. And during that press conference, I said something that stuck with me. And I kind of look at it every day because when you look at what's going on in America, for some reason, Black men and women tend to be dying at a high rate when it comes to policing on us, excessive force, when they can simply de-escalate situations. So my question is, why do we keep dying? So in that press conference, I said, so when I say today is a pivotal moment, it's a chance for America to take a turn in the right direction and right a lot of wrongs so we don't keep adding to these names. What I also meant to say was all of the names that's on that list that's so horrible, we need to revisit the ones who didn't get justice, who didn't get charges filed, who didn't get convictions.
All right, bro.
So until we get that, y'all can get familiar with seeing us. We're going to be on the front line fighting and fighting. And we won't stop until we get better policing, until these cops stop killing unarmed Black men and women. Until then, we won't shut up. Y'all going to see us. No. We got 3 guilty verdicts, but the one thing we didn't get back is George Floyd. In the neighborhood we come from, we believe in an eye for an eye. But we don't even want to get even. We just want justice. We just want something that we rightfully deserve. So until then, we're going to be fighting, and we stand with y'all. My prayers and my heart goes out to y'all. And I just want to say that whatever y'all need, if we can help in any way, we'll be here. And until then, say his name. I know y'all got it better than that. Say his name.
I'm Philonis Floyd, brother of George Floyd. I want y'all to answer to me now. What's his name?
Anthony McClain.
What's his name?
Anthony McClain.
We didn't come all the way down here. I can't hear y'all. What's his name?
Anthony McClain.
It's a shame. Anthony McClain, he didn't pass of a natural cause. He was killed by a police officer that should be locked up.
Yeah.
Justice for McClain. But the problem is, we see him as Anthony McClain, but his family call him Ant. And when his grandma was on her last leg, she said, why did they have to kill him? Everybody out here is asking that same question, why?
Why?
People all around the world are asking, why?
Why?
They trying to sweep it under the rug. And we're not gonna let that happen at all. They want to sweep it under the rug and put it in the trash can. But guess what? We walk the walk, we talk the talk, and we fight like Mike. Reverend Al told me we got to keep fighting. Congresswoman, she told me, I've been doing this for a long time and I won't stop, because just like the Energizer Bunny, she got it in her back. So we power the same way. We're going to be on every hour. Every time you see a news channel, we're going to speak on Anthony McClain. We're going to speak on Ahmaud Arbery. We're going to speak on Breonna Taylor. There's a lot of people out here that never even got the chance to get accountability. My brother, it was guilty, guilty, guilty. You know why? They couldn't hold back. It was too much of that video floating around. But Anthony McClain has the same video.
Yeah, he do. Unjustified.
The man ran out of his shoes and was shot in his back. You can't tell me, is that what scared is? You run up out of your shoes?
Amen.
This man was killed, handcuffed in the prone position, and my brother died in the prone position, and he wasn't shot. When you get shot and somebody put you in the prone position, you've seen it all on court TV. They said you can't even breathe that good. So why did the officer do that? This man's family is right here. I have to watch as somebody who's loving, watch somebody who's in their family pass over and over, just like I had to do. The video is everywhere. We need to have some type of justice, some type of accountability. We need to have justification on why this officer is still wandering around free to kill somebody else. I talk a lot and I cry a lot, but today I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna fight for Anthony McClain. We come all the way down here, and I will be back, because Anthony McClain, he has to get justice. His son look just like him. Splitting image. Has tears in his eyes. But he's brave enough to come up here because he said, no justice, no peace. So we're here with all of everybody up here, that we're going to separate the real from the fake. And everybody up here are realists. And we all here for the same thing. We're all speaking the truth, because truth is justice. So I want you all to put this everywhere across the world, because the world needs to stand up for Anthony McClain just like they did for George Floyd, and we need to make this a global movement. We need to push the issue every day, because every day is somebody being killed. It's like a never-ending cycle. And that's the only way we'll get some type of accountability. We got to march, and it can be peaceful, but we got to show up, because if you show your face, you will be able to get that case. You know what I mean? We have to. That's reality. I thank you all so much just for coming here and giving me this opportunity to speak, because the Lord is with Anthony McClain. Thank y'all so much.
Now we have a real special honor for a lot of those who has followed this man's career. Some of you all were too young, but you heard his music. You heard Make My Funk the P-Funk. You heard Flashlight. You heard Chocolate City. You heard Atomic Dog. Give it up for the funk R&B icon, the great George Clinton.
Say his name.
Anthony McClain.
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 We went through this in the 60s. We thought we had done this. But here it is 60 years later, and we're still doing the same shit. And I hate to say it like that. Matter of fact, I hate to even be up here trying to talk, because I'm an entertainer. I usually entertain people. This is not entertaining. This is something that's got to be changed. So I'm here doing my part, and I want my brother to help me figure out what that part is, because I don't know it like that. I get up here, I'm mad already.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. So while I'm here, I want the family to know we got your back. We want the people of Pasadena to know we got your back. Face to face, we got your back.
Yes.
Okay? And we gonna do this. And like I said, I can't stand up here. Say his name.
Anthony McClain.
Say his name.
Anthony McClain.
Say his name.
Anthony McClain.
We are one nation under a groove, and we cannot let him down.
One nation under a groove. That's George Clinton. Dominique, you want to come on back up here, Queen? Y'all give it up for Dominique out here every morning. She always uses her voice to uplift the culture. Dominique.
Thank you, Attorney Crump. Really, it's my honor to bring up one of our premier civil rights attorneys here in Southern California. She's always fighting for the people you don't hear about. She's always fighting these cases in Pasadena. She's always bringing these cases to my attention. I do the show The Front Page on KJLH every morning early, and she is always fighting hard. And like most Black women, got to work twice as hard to get half the credit and still don't get it all the way. Amen. And I want you to understand how dedicated this woman is and how she may be maligned at times, but she is certainly worthy of our praise. Like most people who fight hard for our community, she has got to deal with the BS, but we got her back and she has ours. Please put your hands together for one of our premier civil rights attorneys, Caree Harper.
Thank you. Good afternoon, folks. George Clinton, he's landed. I don't know if the mothership is here, George Clinton. I have to ask. Right, but thank you so much, Dominique, for coming out, and thanks to everybody here. I represent Anthony McClain as family. We have Miss Deandra and Miss Soleimani. We have Anthony Jr. and we have Sky Lynn. And their lives were, and I don't remember, but they're in our hearts, and we're all one big family. And that's the part of this, is that the oldest son, Bryce, right here, and his mom, Kimberly Jenkins. This family has been rocked. On August 15, 2020, their days started off like your days would start. Now, let me take just a minute because I want to humanize Mr. McClain, because I really think if we start humanizing us, maybe we won't be killed so quickly. Can you just see Anthony McClain? I can see him as my cousin, my brother, my friend. He had a sense of humor. He liked music. He was funny. You know what he was doing 25 minutes before he was shot dead by Edwin Dumagwindon? He was FaceTiming this young lady here. He was in the park FaceTiming, joking, playing, being goofy. People saw him doing that. He was a nice guy, good guy. And so later, when he got in a car with an associate, they were driving and they drove away. And their biggest crime in Northwest Pasadena, they were driving with no front license plate. How many folks here have gotten a ticket for no front license plate?
Driving while black.
Okay, now the hands of the folks who gotten tickets, I see predominantly, maybe, I hate to say it, a lot of folks who get the ticket tend to be Caucasian. They leave the black folks with the ticket because it's probable cause to pull them over again later. Okay, I hate to say that, but it was a pretextual car stop. The unit made a U-turn, pulled in behind them. The driver was cooperative, okay? The driver showed what ID he had. He didn't have a license, but it's no executionable offense. And so they asked the driver to get out. The driver exited and was cooperative. But then that cover officer, Edwin Dumagwindon, who's supposed to act as cover, folks, he's not supposed to be the head. He's not supposed to run the show right at that moment, right? He's supposed to cover. So he invited Mr. McClain to get out. Now you have an elevated scenario where now we have two people loose wandering. So now it's a heightened sense with two officers and two males. And Mr. McClain exercised his constitutional right to leave the scene. He had constitutional rights that day. Sometimes, though, when you have rights, you can be dead right.
Yes.
And when he left speedily, and the officer pursued him. And what do we know at that time? He didn't know his name, so he didn't know if he had a warrant. He didn't know if he'd committed any type of high-tech felony. He had no right to execute him, shooting him twice in the back. No right to execute him. And even if he had a gun, possession of a weapon is a misdemeanor in California. You can't execute somebody at the scene. Let him live to go to have a trial before you kill him. What was the urgency in shooting him twice in the back while he ran out of his very shoes? He ran from him out of his very shoes. And if you look at the video, he's in full stride. He's running. He's trying to get away because he's trying to watch this guy come play in a tournament that next week, a football tournament. He's running. You know why? Because he's trying to get away because Mother Deandra is, they're going to actually live together and move together, have a life together. He had plans. Anthony McClain had plans on August 15, 2020, and he was not given the benefit of the doubt of a chance. And so he was shot twice, and then he surrendered. What did the other cover officer do? Did he treat him like a human and administer first aid? He handcuffed him.
My Lord.
Handcuffed him and didn't put pressure on an exit wound. We want to have some compassion. Can you give a little compassion?
Humanity.
A little humanity, a little compassion. That was lacking that day.
Yes.
And we're here. We want to have the nation's civil rights attorney spotlight a local problem. Pasadena PD has been running rough for a long time. Before Kendrick McDade, I won't go back to Mr. Zinzin. I'll keep it to before Kendrick McDade. It was Kendrick McDade. We had Leroy Barnes. We have Maurice Robinson. And what happened with J.R. Thomas? 8 men. There was an officer who's training officers now. Aaron Villicana trains officers. He punched Reginald Thomas till he broke his hand on his face.
My Lord.
Then he kicked him and did everything else. 8 officers suffocated him.
Yes.
And they feared for their safety while he was on his back dying in front of his kids. Anyone disciplined? No, no one disciplined. And with Kendrick McDade, they shot him 8 times, sometimes to the back. They feared for their safety while they were in the safety of their patrol car. And this 19-year-old kid was running from them. And what were they doing? They were chasing him with their lights off. At night, their headlights were off. They had no spotlight. They had no siren. It's reminiscent of something from Mississippi Burning, like they were chasing Fresh Negro. It's you know, it's in season now, and we're chasing fresh nigger. I hate to say it, but that's what it seemed like to me. So we want it to stop. And you know, I looked at a very good interview by James Farr. James Farr is out here somewhere. I'm sure he's filming. And James Farr interviewed, thank you. He interviewed Pasadena Police Chief John Perez. Chief Perez thinks the police department is going in the right direction, folks. We beg to differ. That's what he said on tape. The police department is going in the right direction. And he said he's aware of Mr. Ben Crump coming. And he said, we have good lawyers too. And they beat cases. They beat cases. That's what they said. So we got people too, right, Miss Molly Bill?
Let's get
Okay.
ready.
And he said that he hopes that people will want to be part of the solution. And that people can have a different way. He hopes that maybe people can choose a different way to go instead of carrying a gun. We don't believe that Mr. McClain was carrying a gun, but if so, he deserved a trial that day. So we want to bring the national spotlight. I won't talk long. I'll close it down. We can take questions later. Thank you for your time. And I see City Councilman Tyrone Hampton out there. Thanks for coming. We know that, you know, the meeting's gone, but thank you for showing up, Councilman.
And Councilman, next time, hopefully, they will have the meeting and hear from this family. You know, that's the least they can do. Right now, without further ado, we're going to have the mothers come and address you before we have some of the Black Lives Matter leadership and the community leadership come and address you. Right now, we're going to have Miss Sully and Miss DeAndre and Miss Kimberly come with the legacy of Anthony McClain, his 2 sons and his baby daughter. Y'all, please give them all the love and support that you can muster.
Hi, I'm DeAndre Williams. I'm Skylyn McClain's mother. She's his 2-year-old, soon to be 3-year-old. Anthony was a great dad. He was very hands-on. He was just talking to Skylyn. We were just setting plans on him flying to Texas to us driving up and surprising little Anthony at his football game. Like, he was always hands-on. He was present. He FaceTimed his kids. He made sure he let them know that you could be an athlete, but school come first at all times. He always told them, I want you guys to be better than me. I want you guys to leave your print in the world. He was a great dad, and it's something that we're going to miss. Skylyn's constantly asking about her dad all the time, and I just let her know, like, baby, he's an angel. But don't worry, because with you and your 2 brothers, we're going to fight for justice. We are going to fight for justice.
Amen. And before Miss Sully comes, it's important to know, right, Attorney Harper, that he literally was FaceTiming his 2-year-old daughter about 15 minutes before he was shot in the back by these police officers.
Right.
That's what kind of person Anthony McClain was. And so at this time, you'll hear from Miss Sully and the mother of Anthony McClain Jr. It's very emotional for her. So please pray for her. Take your time. Take your time. You don't have to say. Okay. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. And then finally you hear from Kimberly, who is the mother of Bryce, Anthony's oldest son.
First, I want to say thank you all for coming out and helping bring awareness to the system killing of Anthony McClain. He is a father to 3 kids that have to live without a father now. My son is here. He's a little upset because he's older and he had to watch it. He's seen the video already and he doesn't understand. And for him and his siblings to have to grow up without a father now is ridiculous. And like George Floyd's family said, we are tired. We're tired of having to fight so much just because we're Black. We're tired of having to explain to our kids that their father is not here because he's Black and he's done nothing wrong. It's just ridiculous. And thank you all again, and just help us please get justice for our kids to be at least able to say that the police is not able to work no more, the officer that did this, and just justice for Anthony McClain. Say his name.
Anthony McClain. Thank you. Thank you, family. Thank you. And before we bring Melina Abdullah and some of the Black Lives Matter leadership up, we have a special treat because we have a young man who's a phenomenal rapper who dedicated a song for Anthony McClain. His name is C Black out of Atlanta, Georgia. I know he's working with George Clinton on some things. So to the activist community, I think y'all will feel this. Give it up for C Black.
Yeah. You run that back for me?
Yeah, seems like the cops got a problem. But they only shooting white, they don't shoot white men in the back, they only shooting us in the back. So that's a problem for us. Yeah, police don't shoot white men in the back. Why? Huh? Police don't shoot white men in the back. Put your hands up. Yeah, police don't shoot white men in the back. Put your fists up. Woo! Police don't shoot white men in the back. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. Dirty, gun. My Uzi weighs a ton. Another brother just lost his son. Buried a loved one. Body a mindless act that can be undone. You treat us like slaves on the run. Look in my daughter's eyes, she cries, so I respectfully reply, comply. I don't want to die. Jago Hoover sanction the shooter. Automatic weapon striking fire. Mr. Bishop Bice. If you need more proof, Dylan Roof murdered 9 saints in the church. Further down in the work to get rid of these curses. Yeah. Yeah. Police don't shoot white men in the back. Say it with me. Yeah. Police don't shoot white men in the back. Say it with me. Let's go. Yeah, police don't shoot white men in the back. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Fuck dirty cops rolling around in any town. All my people got it bad because we brown. You think we two tone this Ice Cube because you got the angry because your tone is rude. By your smooth groove, hate that you spew. Uncool and screwed. The multitude of rules. First ask question, later execute us like a dictator. Darth Vader is your indicator. Flick to the dark side, trying to annihilate us. That fake report ain't gonna add up later, cause you're the real fucking perpetrator. You're such a hater. Come on, let's go. Say it with me. Yeah.